Are we on? Are we on? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are we on? Are we on? Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I am your host, Glenn Poole Harding. And we had a special time today with a very special guest. This basketball head is an August Martin standout who played between the years of 1987 and 1989. You know, this is during the golden era, baby. When New York City basketball was very competitive with players on every team. It's not a joke. This basketball head grew up playing in Queens with legendary players like, rest in peace, my brother Dave Edwards from Andrew Jackson. And who could forget my guy Brian Walker from Hillcrest High School, who was also a guest on the show. This basketball head grew up playing in tournaments in Brooklyn and Queens, being coached by Queens legendary coach Craig Cat Keys. The landscape of New York City in our era was very different from what it's like today because no one ever intentionally went to the same school. We relished the competition of playing against each other. So in other words, we wanted to smoke. Upon finishing high school, this basketball head attended Norfolk State University as a walk-on. But once he was told he had to sit out his freshman year because of grades, he turned to the streets. As a result, he was convicted of narcotic charges and spent 10 years on a federal drug conviction. But upon returning to the streets and back into society, this basketball head knew his calling would be not to let any of our young women and men fall into the same misguided decisions that would deter their lives. This basketball head started a nonprofit organization called CGE Lab. The CGE Lab provides programs in the juvenile justice system with aftercare services for young people to remain on track when they return to their families. This is what you call a true story of redemption. Please help me welcome to the show August Martin standout, community activist, and founder of CGE Lab, my brother, Larry Cave.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped out into the world of chaos. Where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
What's happening, my brother?
What's up, Pooh? What's good?
How you doing, man? How you doing, brother?
I'm making it work, man. I'm making it work.
Man, you doing more than that, man. First, I want to say, man, congratulations on everything you're doing for the community and helping these kids, man, because it's a big assignment, right? It's a big assignment. And
Absolutely.
A lot of people kind of don't want to deal with today's teens, right? For lack of a better term. But you know, you out there doing the legwork for a lot of us, man. We definitely appreciate you.
Most definitely. Pooh, man, I had to get out there and make a difference. Like, I didn't want to be one of them dudes that just talk about it. I had to be about it, you know what I mean? So once I figured out that that's what I wanted to do, man, I just jumped in full steam ahead. You know what I mean? Spending my own money, using my own resources. You know, I just had to get it done. Really, I ain't want to waste no time talking.
No doubt, man. And look, see, your work is not going unappreciated, man. So definitely, man, keep
Yes,
doing what
thank
you're
you,
doing.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
But we want to start from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Who introduced you to the game?
Oh man, yo, I was a young boy. So I grew up in this park, Montebello Park. So it was a
The
coach in
Bello.
there,
Yes.
still around to this day. His name is James Sites. Took me from a little guy, yo. He had me dribbling around cans. He'll find something in the park and just line them up and have me doing crossovers, teaching me how to spin. So that introduced me to the game. You know, I was always into sports because I followed my older brother around. So, you know, he'll let me play some ball with him. He'll let me play football with him. But James, the one that really started getting me technical in the game. So once I got my skills going, I met Cat. So Cat, the one that started putting me in tournaments, traveling. We used to go to Brooklyn. Cat will take us to Brooklyn, the Bronx, put 5 of us in his car, and we just go to playing tournaments in Brooklyn. We go to Coney Island and play in the cage. You know what I mean? So he'll put 5 of us in the car. He'll have me, Dave, Brian Walker. You know, we have the cats that won the state title from Springfield, like Al Rich, Zeus. And we just grew up traveling with him, playing in tournaments. You know what I mean? I remember going to Coney Island in the cage. That's when I first met Steph and his brother. I met Juju back then. Steph was probably 7 years old.
Right, right.
We in the cage from Queens. We walk in from Queens. We only got 5 dudes. So they like, oh, these niggas from Queens, you know, they on the gates. They hanging on the gates. So we only got 5, but Cat, we pressed the whole game. Pooh, we pressed the whole game. So one of my first highlights I could actually remember when I first started playing, because my handle was crazy. Like I practiced on my handle like crazy, you know what I mean? So it was a kid from Coney Island. I don't even remember his name, but he was a neighborhood favorite on the court. So boom, man, you know, Brian Thorpe passed me the ball. He inbound the ball to me. Dude, sticking me full court. The court is hyping him up. They like, yeah, get on him, get on him. But he ain't know me. I'm from Queens. Cat just looked at me like, yo, you know, every time, you know, in our era, if somebody playing you full court up close, we used to say, yo, boogie on that nigga. You know
Hey, you know that the boogie handle, you put the ball in your left hand if you're righty. You know what I'm saying? You start shaking them
So
up.
Cat said, yo, Cat looked at me and whispered in his voice, just like, yo, boogie on that nigga. My handle was on point. So I just started running full speed at him, Pooh, put him between my legs. Bop, 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 bop. Like 4 times in a row. Bop, bop, bop. I hit him with an in and out. He was smart. He tried to jump me. Boom, I hit him and then I spent on him. Came down the middle and I laid the shit. Yo, the game stopped in Coney Island. Niggas was running on the court. Niggas was jumping off the fence. Niggas wanted to fight me. This shit was crazy.
Wow.
Yo, Steph brothers and them was there. They was like, yo, chill. This shit is basketball. Don't be mad. He got you. You know what I mean? So that's my first encounter with Steph and him in Coney Island. Then, you know what I mean? We traveled, man. Cat kept us traveling, man. Like that team from Springfield High School. I went to Springfield High School when I was in the 9th grade.
Okay.
But that team that won the state, Cat raised that team. So they all went there from junior high school. They went to Springfield. You know what I mean? And we all played together. I was always a year behind them. You know what I mean? Al Rich and Zeus and them. So when they went off to high school, I was still playing middle school. So when I got to Springfield, I'm like, yo, what's up, guys? I'm here. I ain't even know. I'm not even going to front pool. I ain't know nothing about JV when I got to high school. I'm like, yo, I'm here. What's up, y'all? I mean, you know, they was always a year ahead of me, but we grew up playing together.
Right.
I'm like, I'm here, baby. I'm playing. What's up? I'm on. Niggas was like, nah. The coach was like, Fila was like, nah, you not playing with them. You gonna play JV. I'm like, JV? What you talking about? I've been playing with them my whole life. What you mean? He put me on JV for sure. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna play JV. Finish JV. I was playing JV. I played JV with like Tut. Tut was on my team. You know Tut. He was on my team in JV. So I'm like, all right, we played JV. We went I think we went undefeated in JV. Maybe we lost one game. We was balling. All right, so next year, I'm like, all right, I'm playing next year. Like I done did this JV thing, I'm playing. Next year come, tryouts, we balling, we playing. We all familiar with each other. Coach tell me I'm playing JV again.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But I gotta say, everybody was a year ahead of me, but they had like 12 starters on that team. The year they won the state, had 12 starters on that team. It was deep. You know what I mean? So I'm a year under them. He like, yo, you a year under them, man. Just chill, like waste your time. But I'm like, nah, I can't wait. So I said, yo, I'm not playing no more. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting in the stands. As a young man growing up, I was outside. You know what I mean? I'll be in the hood. I had different friends. I had friends that was hustlers also. You know what I mean? So me sitting out when I was a sophomore in the beginning of the school year, I started hanging out with my other friends too. And I'm learning the streets a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in love with basketball though. That's my first love. But I'm learning the streets. I'm hanging out in the streets a little bit more because I quit the team. So I always credit basketball for saving my life in many different areas. So I always try to give back to the game as much as I can. You know what I mean? Like me sitting in the stands, it was a police officer that was assistant coach for August Martin. His name was Larry Smith. Everybody called him Smitty. He saw me sitting in the stands and he like, yo, why you sitting in the stands? Why you not playing? And I told him, I said, man, he tried to put me on JV. I think I'm too good to play JV. I want to play varsity. I've been playing. I grew up with these dudes. I know I could play. He was like, you know what? I'm the assistant coach at August Martin. You coming to my school. I was like, word? He said, go home and tell your mother that you want to transfer to August Martin. I went right home. I left the game. I went right home. Ma, I want to go to August Martin. She was down. She was like, you sure? My parents supported my sports a lot, but not like today where you got parents that'll take you to practice, take you to training. You know what I mean? So they just supported my decisions. If I had to pay for something, they would pay for it, but they weren't really physically taking me to the places, like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, our parents didn't come to the games like that.
yeah, they were hard working. They were hard working. They were working hard. You know what I mean? So the next day, my mom walks up to Springfield High School with me. We walk up the block. She comes to Springfield. She's like, yo, when she walks into school, the assistant principal knew her already because my older brother and my older sister went to the school already. She walks in the school. He's like, yo, what you doing here? She's like, yo, my son, I'm transferring him to August Martin High School. He said, it's done already. He gone. Don't even worry about it. If it's your son, he gone already. So I had to play JV again on August Martin because I was transferring. Man, I probably was playing in games with August Martin JV. It's funny these days that you can't say this kind of stuff nowadays. But I was still in class in Springfield. I was playing games with August Martin JV. Like in class in Springfield, I'm showing my homeboys on the team, like, yo, I got a game today. They're like, where? I'm like, at August Martin. They're like, you lying. I said, the whole team came to one of my games. After school, we all jumped on the bus. I got the whole Springfield varsity on the bus with me going to August Martin to watch me play. But, we grew up together, so we was tight. They were supporting me, plus they wanted to see it. But I got to August Martin. That was it, man. I was with Lamb, Shell, you know what I mean? Corey and them, Wayne and them. We lost to Springfield in the semifinals. But they were stacked. But we was balling, man. I can't change that era of basketball because we all played together at some point in the summers, but when the school time came, you know what I mean? Dave was one of my friends that I grew up with. Till he passed away, we would talk. But when we got on that court, we going at each other. We going at each other. Him
What?
and Ted Portwine, we
Yeah.
going at each other. It was a
What can you
competition.
tell me? Just tell me. You know, it's unfortunate that Dave is not here with us no more, right? He's one of the reasons why I wanted to start the show, because we was losing a lot of our guys from basketball in New York City during that COVID time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
give me a Dave Edwards story that still sticks out to you today, something that you saw on the court, or maybe you guys played with each other or played against each other. Give me like a story that you can share with everybody about Dave.
All right.
Mr.
One of
Boogie
my
Edwards.
one of my memories with Dave is we in high school at this time. So when Dave played ball, he always get an attitude right before he play. So Dave would be walking around the court huffing and puffing and looking at people like he got beef. You know what I mean? So at this point, I'm playing with the Gauchos. My team on the Gauchos was David Kane, Ty Davis, Mashburn, Eric Mobley, a couple other kids. This kid named Cookie.
Rest in peace, Eric Mobley, for sure.
Yeah, so Dave on the court, Dave hyped for the game. Dave liked those kind of games. So Dave, he on the court, he huffing and puffing, but Dave always played full speed. And we was cool, but in the game, he like, yo, Cave, I'm gonna kill you. He like, okay, you my man, but I'm gonna kill you. So we all going at it. Everybody pop. David Kane was nice too. So we all going at it. So Dave would always laugh at me because he caught me. He's coming down the court, and we put the ball around his back, and then fake like he was gonna throw it that way and hit me. Boom! I ran the whole other way. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna pick this pass off. So I tried to anticipate it, but when he went this way, I ran that way to go get it. Hit me with the bow, you know what I mean? So we laughing on the train ride home. He like, yo, I told you I'm gonna get you. I was like, yeah. But in our conversations, he would always say, he was like, yo, I don't know, Channel 2, it wasn't no ESPN back there.
Man, it was none of that.
And Dave
no
would
social
always be
media.
like, yo, Cave, I'm playing on Channel 2, man. That was his favorite line. Every time we'll be traveling home on the train, he'd be like, yo, I'm playing on Channel 2. I'm not going nowhere unless I play on Channel 2. And that was the kind of mind frame that we had. I was like, I'm riding with him too. I'm like, word, I'm playing on Channel 2 too. But that's one of our memories that I always talk about with him. I'll be like, yo, when he went to Georgetown, I'm like, all right, my man said he was going to play on Channel 2.
That's right. Facts.
And that was his whole thing. He said, yo, I'm playing on Channel 2. ESPN opened it up for a lot of, a lot of schools and kids.
Yeah, man. Yeah, when ESPN came along, we got to, when the guys left New York City, we got to stay in tune with them through college basketball, right?
Absolutely. That ESPN came out. That was new to us.
That was our social media.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Facts.
Hey, Pooh, it's funny, right? We didn't have trainers as much as they have now.
Yep.
We used to pass around VHS tapes and watch whole basketball games.
Facts.
I'll go to my man's house. He'll tell me, yo, I got Pearl against Rod Strickland on VHS tape. We'll watch the whole game. I'll borrow the tape and go home and watch the tape again. I'm pausing because I'm stealing moves from Pearl and Rod.
Listen, we had to become students of the game. There was no such thing as just watching a highlight, right? We wanted to see it again and again and again. And these kids with social media, it's easy for them to watch the highlight instead of the whole game. I had this kid on the other night, and he talked about just watching his favorite players' highlights. He didn't say anything about watching the game. And then when you hear these guys talk, that's in the NBA, a lot of them will tell you that the younger guys who are in the NBA don't watch NBA games.
Absolutely.
So this is a way different time for basketball. But I do remember those days when we was passing those VHS tapes, and hopefully you get it back because somebody would steal your shit, or somebody would come over your crib and somebody else would steal it, or you would lend it to somebody else, and it would just get around to the whole hood and never get back to you.
Word. But that's how we learned the game.
Right.
Like you said, we were students of the games. The games were so intense because everybody had some sort of basketball smarts. Like these days, I train kids, they don't even watch basketball.
Yeah.
They don't have any basketball game smarts. They don't study it. Like they probably don't even really know how to watch film. So that was an advantage that we had back then.
Yeah,
So,
we
you know.
definitely going to get into that. But you got through your high school times. You got to play varsity. You said you guys was always good, but the city championships and those deep playoff runs kind of eluded you guys. Did you play with Sean Green?
No,
Or
Sean
you
Green was
with
there
Trevor?
before me.
Right. Okay. Right. You was here before me. That's more my era. You
Yeah.
was there with my guy
Lambershell, Winston
Lambershell.
Jones.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we had a crew.
And
We
Trey
just couldn't get
Diggs, you was
past
there
that
with Trey Diggs
Springfield.
as well. Trey Diggs say he played in August Martin during that era as well, from Brooklyn, my guy. So yeah, that was listen, if you was played in high school anywhere during the 80s and mid 90s, it was crazy. Right? Because it was talent, 3 or 4 or 5 guys that was on that team that was like dogs, right?
Absolutely.
And some teams you said was 12 deep. You know what I'm saying? They had it like that. So it was definitely a different time, and scholarships weren't easy to come by.
Absolutely.
Right? You know, and even harder today. But during our time, the fact that so many guys was loaded throughout the city, it was different. So I'm kind of thinking, you know, when you said you had 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? Because you had some friends who was ball players, you had some friends that were street guys.
Mm-hmm.
What gave you the idea to go down to Norfolk State?
Norfolk State, the coach, his last name was Christian. He was recruiting me. He used to call me when I was in August Martin. So I had some friends we grew up together. I had some friends that were traveling out of town on some streets, you know what I'm saying? They was traveling out of town, and I knew that they were in Virginia. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to Virginia. I'm going to go to school in Virginia. That way I could probably play ball and I can hang out with my people. You know what I'm saying? So I get to Norfolk State. I don't even tell Norfolk State I'm coming to the school. I just get down there as a student.
Wow.
I go to the tryouts with all the students. I make it through all the cuts. All the students. The students is getting cut. I make it all the way through to the end. So then the coach is like, yeah, what's your name? Like, where you come from? I'm like, yeah, I come from New York. So then I tell him, I say, yeah, you used to call my house. He like, what? It's like, you used to call my house to speak to me. He's like, all right, come to practice tomorrow. When we come to practice tomorrow, I show up and pray. He's like, yo, you was right. He was like, yo, why you ain't tell nobody you was coming down here? I was like, I just came. He was like, okay. He said, but I looked at your SAT score. You didn't get high enough. Now, the SAT, I only took it once. You know what I mean? Like, to this day, I wish I had. These days, these kids, they got parents, they got people that's handling them. I wish I had somebody a little bit more that was into basketball that would have pushed me to take the PSAT and the SAT. You know what I mean? Just to prepare for that. Because when I took it, I never saw nothing like that in my life. You know what I mean? So He came back. He was like, I saw your SAT. You can't play, but just chill out. You know what I mean? Practice with us, chill out this first year, and you could come the next year. My homeboys is in Virginia. That whole time I gotta sit out that first year. Pooh, I'm not even going. I'm gonna keep it 100. I saw more money than I ever saw in my life sitting out playing basketball. I lost interest in basketball after that. Cause now I'm in my first year of college. I'm buying motorcycles. I'm buying all kind of expensive cars. Like, they knew how to get money. You know what I mean? And I was right into it. I always had a personality where if I do something, I'm gonna do it to my best too. So now I'm going all the way. Like, I'm going all the way. I'm getting it.
And this is
It-
during the time when a lot of New York guys was going down to Virginia and scrambling. This was that era, trust me, because it was a lot of guys that I know from Brooklyn that was making those trips back and forth to
Yeah.
VA, North Carolina, South Carolina. They was down there getting it, and it was a different time and very enticing moments for guys who had a lot of free time on their hand, such as
Absolutely.
yourself.
Like the basketball scene, it was like, yo, where's son at? I know he went down to Norfolk to play ball, but they ain't see me no more. Now I'm running around, traveling. I'm all over the place. You know what I mean? I also, now since I'm outside moving around, that's when the music industry was really starting to take off too. You know what I mean? So now I got money to do extra stuff. I opened up a record label while I was moving around. I signed artists. So I had a deal. I had a production deal actually with Bad Boy. He signed one of my artists. So now I'm running around with Puffy.
Wow.
I'm making moves. You know what I mean? So it was high profile. So it was hard for the feds not to see me because everything was high profile. You know, I'm doing a lot. You know what I'm saying?
So you think they was watch you for a minute?
Yeah, it had to be. You know what I mean? If there was a such thing as social media back there, we probably wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't. So they just had to go off of confidential informants. So like I probably had about 15 confidential informants,
Whew.
but I didn't know any of their names. You know what I mean? So with me, and that, you know, we call it shining. You know what I mean? It was misguided. Now that now that I have information and I grew up into a man and I think back at that time, it was misguided, but at that time you thought you was balling. You thought you was that guy. You know what I mean? So plus I'm in the music industry. You know what I mean? Like my production company, we produce records for Jay-Z, 50 Cent. Until this day, we still producing records. You know what I mean? So that was the era of my life. It made me who I am. I wouldn't change it. You know what I mean? It just helped me build as a man to get me ready for where I am right now. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. So listen, walk me through that moment, right? When you got arrested and you sit in the courtroom and the judge hand down your sentence, right? Because I think this can save a lot of young people to understand and get an idea what that process is like, and then how it could change a very important part of their life. Like, what was that moment like? You're sitting there, you got to face whatever's coming to you, but what was going through your mind at that moment when the judge hit that gavel and said, you got to do 10 years of federal corrections?
Oh man, Pooh. One thing about when you decide to do other things, or when you decide to get money, or just break the law, it's all fun until you get caught. Now, when you get caught, you got to decide: am I going to be a stand-up dude, or am I going to cooperate with the government and try to get less time? But you knew what you was doing from the start. You know what I mean? So I just always knew that I was going to be a stand-up person. Like, you know what I mean? I don't steal from people. I don't rob. And I knew that one day that I was going to have to atone for something, you know what I mean? But I had family support. Like, my whole family was in the courtroom.
Mm.
I had friends in the courtroom, you know what I mean? And when the judge, they hand out the time in months. So they handed out in 120 months. He told me 120 months. I'm like, yeah, you know, so
That's the
I'm
tricky part. That's the
I'm
tricky
adding that
part,
up in
right?
my brain real quick, like, like boom, I come to, I'm like, wow, I'm like, God damn, that's 10 years. So, you know, you can't really turn around, but I turn around, I look at my family, they like, oh, everybody like, oh my God, I guess they all calculated at the same time. But when I'm in the jails now, when I'm working in my program inside the juvenile jails now, I tell them that because that moment, you actually taken hostage. Like, there's no, okay, you got to come back. Like, they putting the cuff on you and they taking you away for 10 years right there on the spot. You know what I mean? You were small, you probably could have said, oh, I'm sorry, and think you're going to get out of trouble. There's no sorry. There's no nothing. Mr. Cave, you're coming to finish this up right now. You're gone. You know what I mean? And so that's a time period where you're going to be off the streets. You're a dead man walking for real. That's what we called it in there, dead man walking. And you got to stay there until you finish every day that they want you to finish. You know what I mean? So it's stressful. You know what I mean? You might not even be worried about, you got to be on point because it's a lot of men that's sad, stressful. It's just a place that's bottled up stress. You know what I mean? So any day it could be somebody's bad day and you might say the wrong thing and it might be the day where they try to hurt you seriously. You know what I mean? So you got to move like a man in there. You know what I mean? You can't, I always said I didn't drink, I didn't gamble, I didn't play dice, or none of that stuff. I worked on my brain. I studied, I read, because I knew when I got out, I had to have more information than everybody else that been there for 10 years already.
Mm.
I had to know about so many things and have so much information that when I had conversations with people, I can assist them in what they wanted to do. Or at least say something intelligent that will direct them in the right place. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I did. I worked on myself, exercising, reading, studying on human nature, why people do certain things, just preparing to get back in the world because I didn't want myself to be defined by me being a hustler. Like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I play ball, and then once you go the wrong way, that's all people think of you.
Facts.
So I was like, you know what? That's not going to be my legacy. When I finish this, when I get back, I'm going to flip it on them a whole nother way. I'm going to show them a whole different side of this thing. You know what I mean? To this day, like, I rarely even talk about the specifics of my story. Like, I'm going hard right now on your show, Boo. You know what I'm saying? I really never give up the specifics and let people know how it really went down. So this is one of the few times where I'm being detailed on my situation. You know what I mean? But that was my thing. I had a plan. I was like, okay, when I get back, I'm gonna flip it on them 360. They're not even going. If you didn't know me, you ain't even gonna know that I was in the street. You know what I mean?
But one of the motivating factors of want to bring you on the show because we could talk basketball all day, right? But what you're doing now is saving lives, right? And we have so many kids that look like ourselves that they glamorize the street life. They glamorize being hustlers. They glamorize, you know, being a real NIGGA until
Absolutely.
those real situations happen, and then they're forced to either be a stand-up guy or they're forced to 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 do something to get themselves less time because, you know, like you said, they all signed up for it, but when it's time to take that time, a lot of them don't want to do it, right? And this is not promoting anyone to go to jail or anything, but when they're able to see someone like yourself who made a mistake and took the wrong road, um, now this is the time of redemption. This is the time where you can kind of give back and say, you know, instead of putting people's lives in danger or myself, I'm gonna go and save lives. And
Absolutely, Pooh.
and for you to even open up like that, I think is very important. You know, Leslie V, always on the show, always supporting, say yes, it can save a lot of young people.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why, when I got back, I just surveyed the scene. You know what I mean? So, like I said earlier, basketball was my first love. So I always try to get back to basketball. Like, even in the federal system, the basketball league is good. Like, you got, you know, dudes is lifting weights and jogging. Like, you just got a whole bunch of strong dudes. Everybody on the court, you got people that play ball for real. Everybody, people made mistakes. So the competition was high.
Right.
I got back into basketball heavy. That helped me get through my days there. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So when I got back, my brother-in-law, he was the director of the juvenile justice company. So it was called Shelter in Arms. They had facilities that when kids get in trouble, they try to keep them close to the neighborhood instead of sending them up. You know what I mean? But it's kids that get caught with robberies, getting caught with guns, juvenile stuff, but serious charges. He would always be like, "Yo, man, you got a lot to give these young people, man." He's like, "Yo, you want to come through? You want to come through and talk to the kids and speak to them?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to do that." So this would really open my doors into that world. It was one kid. He was handling a gun. The gun went off, and the bullet actually hit a girl in the head.
Wow.
But this kid he played AAU basketball. He was nice, but he was a live wire when he was there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first kid that they got me to come in there and work with. So now we had basketball in common. So he couldn't be with the other kids. I bought cones to the spot. I bought cones. I bought basketballs. I'm like, "Yo, come on, let's train. When you get back, you going back to play ball." So that's boom. Me and him have our long time. We training. We training. I got him dribbling. I got him doing moves. That brought him back to life, and that started to teach me how to get through to the kids. Like, I had to be consistent. I couldn't go in there with my first encounter preaching to the kids. They
Right.
didn't want to hear preaching. They want to see consistency. So I had to be consistent in what I was doing to get him to start to trust me. And in the facilities, they have cameras throughout the whole facility that the higher ups could watch on their cell phones to see what's going on in the facilities. So
Mm.
now while I'm in there interacting with this kid weekly, they watching me. They're like, "Yo, homeboy is good at that. Ask him if he want to go to 2 more facilities."
Wow.
So now I go to the 2 facilities. They checking me out. They're like, "Nah, homeboy is really good at that. We're gonna bump him up. We're gonna have him going to 7 facilities."
Mm.
So now I got my corporation. I had one of my close friends that got in trouble also, but when he came home, he took the bar exam and he passed the bar exam. So he got home a couple of years before me. When I got back, he said, listen, this is what you're going to do. He didn't even give me an option. He said, this is what you're going to do. When the time comes, we're going to file these papers and you're going to get all your rights back. So you're
Wow.
going to be able to do everything that you want. The only thing you won't be able to do is have a gun license. I was like, I bet, because if I got to go somewhere that I need a gun, I don't need to be there anyway.
Facts. Facts.
You know what I mean? So that process, I got all my rights back. I was able to get every license that you can possibly get in New York State. Now, you know, I was planning for this. Got my
Right.
real estate license. I'm a personal training license. I was getting everything. I'm a notary. I'm a notary. If it's a license, pooh, I'm
You got
getting it.
it.
I'm
Fact.
studying. I'm getting it. So that's where I was at with that. But I'm going to all the facilities, and that's what I knew that I learned from being on a job, that I had to be consistent. You know what I mean? So to this day, I got my nonprofit. That's my basketball. Why I started that is because when I got back, I saw I'm not hating on nobody hustle. People gotta earn money to stay alive and pay bills.
Facts.
But my thing was I never paid to learn how to play basketball.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So when I got back, I saw trainers and people paying, you know what I mean, people to learn how to play basketball. That wasn't my thing. You know what I mean? I didn't have no problems with nobody else, people earning their money. But if I was gonna put my hands on it, I'm doing everything for free.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And me and my brother-in-law, he passed away from COVID too. His name was Jermaine Miller. He played ball too. He went to St. Thomas Aquinas.
Rest in peace.
That was our journey. We said, yo, we gonna do this for free. You know what I mean? And we had the opportunity to get a space in the gym. That's what it was. We had everybody coming through for free. And we doing the same thing or more than people were doing charging. But I already knew that I owed basketball for saving my life a couple of times and pushing me in the right direction. So I wanted to give back to basketball. And you know what I mean? It wasn't always me going for the top players in the city. It was kids that needed to learn how to play basketball too. So I wasn't going for the top players. I'm going for the kids that really loved the game, but they wanted to learn and become good. All right, you know what? Get over here. I'm going to train you. I'm going to teach you. You're going to learn how to play basketball. And that's what we did. So I got my nonprofit going. I'm in the juvenile jails helping them out. You know what I mean? So I'm so consistent with them and I'm having great relationships with them. When they get out, they still contacting me. So they'll contact me and I'll have them come over to my nonprofit. I'll put them on a team and play just so they can stay on track. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm studying my real estate and I'm staying busy and I'm trying to, you know what I mean? You know, one of my happiest moments with me being out, you know, I'm helping the young people, but it was my family. It was my mom's. Like when I first got around, you know, your mother, she always gonna be nervous. They know they child. She gonna be nervous. She used to kind of call me, you know what I mean, check up on me, seeing if I'm all right. But the time that I noticed that she really didn't worry, she had no doubt in her mind that I was on the right track. That's what made me feel good. You know what I mean? She wasn't calling to check on me and make sure my whereabouts were in the right place. She was just confident, like, oh no, he working, he over here doing this, he look happy, I'm good. You know what I mean? Once I saw that my family was good with me and they knew that I was all the way done, that's what made me feel good because there's gonna be tests. You're gonna be tested. I'm still tested to this day. You know what I mean? I'm still tested to this day, Pooh. Like, I'm a respected person in this world. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could go in the corporate boardroom, I could put on my tie, go in corporate America and hold my own. I do great business. You know what I mean? It's not cap. You could ask my peers about that. I do great business. I put on the tie, I do great business. I could go on the street. I put on my Timbs and a hoodie, boom, I'm outside. I'm respected over there. They know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? So I can go into entertainment. Still, I can walk in any music company I want to this day, sell music or do business with them. So I can move appropriate in whatever area I am. You know what I mean? So I kind of pride myself on that, being able to deal with different groups of people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And still carry myself like a man and not lie to people and not rob and steal from people. And that's what made me last so long out here. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's why you'll get a good word from other reputable people like, yo, talk to my man over here, man. He got a good little, you know what I mean? He got a good story going on.
that's what
He's
I
an
was gonna
upstanding
say.
dude.
Facts. You
You know what I
know,
mean?
the
So
Derek
thankful to you, man. You
Hawkins.
got me out here. You know, you got me in detail though today, boy.
Listen, listen.
I'm
Thanks,
rolling.
thanks to
I'm on a
Derek
roll, Pooh.
Hawkins. Thanks to Derek Hawkins. Thanks to my guy, you know, Ted Portwine, who sent me your numbers. Like, yo, you got to get my guy on the show. You know, because basketball has a platform. You know, for all guys who came through playing basketball and got a story to tell. And I like to mix it up. I like to have those guys, you know, from the Stephon Marbury to Ross Strickland's, you know,
Hmm.
to yourself. You know, I had guys on here. My guy Piggy Myron from Kansas City, and I don't usually go out of the state, but he's a big basketball guy out there. But also, he's known as being one of the biggest street guys out in Kansas City, who turned his life around and came back and helped a bunch of kids. So, you know, when we talk about giving back, I'm very big on that. I work in education myself, dean of a high school, uh, a lot of at-risk kids who deal with the juvenile justice system. We have a lot of our kids come from that situation and still dealing with those situations. So
Hmm.
this is very important. And I think your story is very inspiring, man. Besides mom, who else are some people that you can credit for helping you bounce back into the real world and getting your life together?
I credit my brother-in-law that passed away.
Rest in
Definitely,
peace.
like other things used to be important to me. Like gaining material possessions used to be important to me. You
Word.
know what I mean? But you know what I mean? I already had that. I drove everything. You know what I mean? Now, don't get it twisted. I still like to, you know, I'm a ball player too. I still like to keep my sneakers and I like to look fresh when I go place and represent, you know what I mean? And present myself clean and charismatic. But I don't need all of the material possessions that were important to me before. And he showed me that. You know what I
Mm.
mean? He was like, yo, man, yo, you a smart dude. And that shit don't mean nothing. You don't need all of that stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, showed me that stuff wasn't important, and I took it and ran with it, and it really not important to me. Like, you know what I mean? Showing people like I really don't have. I don't really try to show people nothing. Like, I don't have nothing to prove to people. You know what I mean? So I like to do things on my own accord. Like, I got my businesses set up where I don't have to ask nobody for no money. You know what I mean? I don't have to lie to nobody. I deal with people that I want to deal with. I like to do good business. So once I detect that it's any funny movements going on, I don't even deal with you no more. You
Yo,
know what I
say
mean?
that again, brother, because a lot of people turn that into beef, right? They turn that into beef and it turns
You-
into a real bad situation. That's
I
great
don't
you
even
said
need
that.
to beef with them because I don't need to have the relationship because I don't need nothing from you. You know what I mean? I'm self-contained. I can handle like the people that I do business with. We do great business because it's a great relationship. You know what I mean? Like we're not trying to use each other for nothing. We just trying to get the job done. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to get somebody to like me so I can move up or get to a certain level, I'm a go getter. I'm gonna get to that level anyway. You know what I'm saying? I know enough people where I can make the right moves to get to where I gotta be, and that's just what it is. Like, I'm not gonna be begging nobody for nothing. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be begging for friends. I don't need to. What's the what I'm looking for? I don't need to compromise who I am just to appease somebody else. You
Nah,
know what I
that's
mean?
real. Nah,
And
that's
that's
real.
what you know what I mean. So that's where I'm at with it right now. Like, it's kids that, like, I do so much for the kids in our neighborhood. Like, if parents ask their child, when you around him, what's up? I, I'm in Atlanta at EYBL. I'm in DC. I'm at the tournaments. If I see kids that I know from New York, they safe. Ask any kid. I'm like, yo, where you good? You got money for food? Plenty of kids. Yo, my cash app stay lit up all day. They call me for, yo, coach, can I get some food all day long? I don't say nothing to none of their parents. Like, I keep it on the low. I'm not looking for no accolades for that. It's just I'm making sure that my young people are great and they
Because
on
you know
point.
what to get. If you don't give it to them, or if you're not there for them, you know what they can do to get it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And I'm so consistent with them, like they confide in me before they confide in their parents. And that's with all the kids that I train. Like, my gym be packed with young people. They in my DM texting me, you're like, yo, coach, I need to get better. You know what I mean? And I'm training them and I'm trying to get them better so they could go to their highest level. You know what I mean? Like, these days, not all of them are gonna make it to D1. Some of them can make it to D2, some can make it to D3. I try to let them know, like, yo, being a player on the court is not the only job in basketball. You could be a
Speak.
coach, you could be a commentator, you could be a scout. Like, look at the coaches and the scouts that, like, they making more money than some players, bro. If you love the game, get information, you can be in the game at any aspect of the game. You just don't have to be a player.
And sometimes some positions you can actually be there longer than the player, right? Tell everybody where's your gym, and if they want to get down with your program, where they can find you at, and all the information like that, so they can contact you, and and
Yeah,
parents can send their child
I'm
there.
located in South Jamaica. It's right off Guy Brewer Boulevard. It's called Catherine and Count Basie Junior High School. Is where my basketball program is. It's right off the Conduit Highway, right in Queens. I'm there Wednesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. I might have some more days in there. They don't want me to monopolize the gym, so they try to keep me from getting all the days. They really can get me all the. They really can get me all the days because I'm doing right. Like, their goal should be who's doing right by the young people that's in this gym. You know what I
That's
mean? If
right.
I'm doing right, you should give me all 7 days because I'm doing the right thing. That's how I look at it. But they don't want me to monopolize it. But yeah, I'm in South Jamaica, Queens. I'm on Instagram at CGE_lab. They could go to my website, www.thecgelab.com. It's registration on my website. They can get in contact with me. You know what I mean? It's for parents that trying to keep their young man or their young woman into sports, and they just don't have $500 every month to pay for them to learn how to play basketball. You know what I mean? So that shouldn't penalize them. You know what I mean? If you want to learn, if you want to get some good training, you really want to learn, if you want to be around men that's going to help them turn them into better men and give them guidance, then I'm where you going to want to be. You know what I
No
mean? I
doubt.
do take donations, but like I said, I don't like pressing single women in the hood for $30 every time they walk in my gym. That's just not my thing.
And as y'all see on the screen, we got the different programs there. It's the weekend skills workout Saturdays, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Catherine and Count Basie Junior High School uh, gym in Queens. February, or well, this whole February, they got the Black History Month Basketball Classic. Did y'all have that already?
Oh, no, that's actually on Saturday.
Okay,
You know
see,
what I mean? That's
good that we can
Saturday.
promote that. Yeah, and
Yep,
then
I'm gonna be in the
April.
gym all day. I'm giving awards out. I'm actually giving awards to some of the other black men from Queens that have basketball tournaments in the summer, and they also helping keep our young men and women off the streets.
No doubt,
You
man.
know what I
That's
mean?
awesome.
So
And then
I'm for the
April, go
I'm for
ahead.
the togetherness, man. I'm not trying to separate.
Nah, this is awesome, man. And the website is very, very eye friendly. Um, then April, they got the April school break basketball invitational. So you can sign up for that as well. Uh, then the month of June, they got another basketball invitational, and then they got the Rochdale Village Family Day tournament going on in September. So all year round, and July to August, they got the basketball tournament, man. So they
Yeah.
got things happening all year round, man. So y'all definitely want to support my brother and everything that he's doing for the community. He's about the community. Y'all could go on the website, just type in CGE Labs, and man, just find out more what he's trying to do, man, and let's help keep this program growing, man, so he can touch more lives, man.
Hey, Pooh,
Definitely.
you got me. You got me running my mouth on this joint.
Nah, it's all good, brother. It's all
You
good,
had me
man.
going, and I was going. I'm cutting you off sometime. I'm just
Nah, it's all
going.
good. It's all good, brother. We here to let you tell your story, man, in
Now I
any way
enjoyed myself.
possible.
You know, that's therapy sometimes. Sometimes you need to talk about it, man. Because I don't always talk about my story in specific. So sometimes it's therapy, man. You know, this whole journey is medication for me, man. Being around the young people, I'm learning every day. You know what I mean? So it's therapy for me. That's my medication. That's why I like doing it. I don't like charging. You know what I mean? I just like helping. You know what I mean? Helping them get to their greatest, to be the greatest person they could be, man. You know what I mean? So that's my medication. I like to see them moving further on. That's that, man.
And that was gonna be my next question. You just answered it, right? If you had one thing that you could change about your journey, what would it be and why?
Mm, I don't know if I would change it. Yeah, 100. I had a good time though. When I I had a good time now, yo. You know what I'm saying? But damn man, you know, let me I don't know if I would change too much. Like where I'm at right now, I'm mentally and I'm spiritually supposed to be in this space. You know what I mean? Like I think all of that stuff that I went through and the places that I've been and everything that I happened prepared me to help my people prosper, man. Like I wouldn't be a man if I didn't give some jewels to my young people, man. You know what I mean? Like I did the selfishness. I did the selfishness already. You know what I mean? Now, you know what I mean? You got to help prosperity. You got to help us grow as a people, man. It's tough. It gets hard. It gets harder. And on for the young people, they still gotta grow up, man. And a lot of them don't have their parents with them and they got a lot of stuff against them. And when they find somebody that's consistent with them and they can finally open up and talk to, like they don't even really open up to nobody. You know what I mean? When they can open up and you blessed enough to get young people to talk to you, you gotta be ready to have the right things to tell them and to show them.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And because they like instant gratification, they gotta see stuff immediately. You know what I mean? Like I'll just bring this up. Like when I go to the juvenile facilities, I got a music program in there because they like to record music. So I'll bring a engineer in there. He got the whole setup. He got the computer. He got the mic, and they get to create they get to create songs and write raps and write over and rap to beats that producers made that's platinum producers. You know, my partner in my production company, he's a platinum producer. I'm telling you, we produce records, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, LL Cool J, Snoop Dogg, you know what I mean? To this day, Jada Kiss, like you can name it. He's coming in the facility and working with the kids. You know what I mean? So I'm still in contact with labels like, you know, sometimes the young artists, they get in trouble. They need community service. They calling me like, yo, my guy, man, he's in trouble. I need, boom, you know what? Let him come with me for a couple of weeks. He bring him into jail. He do some community service. Come talk to the kids. You know what I mean? He could take my letter back to court with him and let the judge see that he's trying to do something. Maybe that's going to help him get a lesser sentence. So, I mean, I don't know, Pooh, what to answer your question if I would change too much, because I really think that I'm in my space right now. And a lot of people don't get a chance to see their space. You know what I mean? So, like, my companies are running. Like, I got a printing company. I make uniforms for schools. I make uniforms for the juvenile system. I make they staff uniforms.
Did you make that hoodie that you have on?
Yeah, this is an embroidery joint. This is my production company, Taboo. You know what I mean?
That's
And
dope.
you know,
That's dope.
I be making all kind of. I'm fancy.
Yeah, I
I'm
see.
gonna
I see.
send
I
you
see.
some
Yeah,
gear though. I got
yeah,
some
yeah.
stuff on. I'm waiting.
Please, please, man, please, brother, please,
I'm gonna
brother,
send you some
please.
stuff. I got some stuff on being made right now. My homeboy Shy, he always Khalil's dad, Khalil Braley dad,
Yeah, yeah.
Shy.
Yo, listen, hello. That's my guy.
He always like, yo, I ain't getting no gear in a minute. Yeah, I mean,
Tell him you was old me. He be like, yo, he gonna be like, yo, that's my man. That's my man. He the
yeah,
one. He
I
brought me
spoke
out
to
to
him
Queens
yesterday, but
to play in that Sniff tournament back in the days.
yeah, I won MVP in that joint. I won MVP in that joint.
You know what I'm saying? So I that's what definitely and salute to his brother Brian. You know what I'm saying? So I know the family out
You know,
there, man.
I stay in contact with his son often. Like we tight. But we got a
Yep.
whole nother relationship, you know what I mean? Me and his son. But he balling, he up in LaSalle.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I tell him he need to wake up in the morning and shoot a little bit more, but that's another story.
He gonna be okay. He gonna be okay, man.
Mhm.
Hey, listen, brother. Again, man, I'm glad we got a chance to chop it up, man.
Oh man, I had a good time, Pooh.
Whenever I told you, whenever you need me to come out there, talk to the kids, man. You know, anything, man. Just holler at me, man. My number's always open, man. And we appreciate you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing, and we proud of you, man.
Thank
For
you, man.
sure.
That was therapy for me, man. You
Anytime,
had
bro.
me talking my head off, Pooh.
Anytime, man. When you ready to write the book, come on and promote it, man. It's all good.
I'm gonna keep that low, but I'm working on something too. It's gonna be right, but I'm gonna keep it low. I'm gonna shock the world with it.
Hey, listen, and come back on here and promote it, brother.
Absolutely. Thank you, Pooh.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you.
My brother.
All right. Wow. Listen, that's amazing, man. You know, not too many times we get to hear guys who, been through the system come back and help kids that, you know, it takes a lot to bounce back and be in good spirits and be comfortable in your space enough to go out there and make sure that other kids don't fall in the same position. Definitely, book would be a bestseller, and I know because he would get a lot more intricate than what he got on the show. Trust me. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate the love too, Les. So just keep that in mind, right? When you got guys in the neighborhood that we may look down upon because they're doing certain things that we wouldn't dare to do. Just give them a chance because everybody's trying to find their way. And my guy, Larry Cave, definitely found his way, and he's helping so many kids, and he's giving back in a major way. So, with saying that, we're about to get out of here. I am your host, Glenn Poole Harding. You've been watching Basketball Heads Live, the podcast. We changing lives every day, baby. Salute to my guest, Larry Cave. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. Salute to all my basketball heads out there. Remember, share the content. Make sure you subscribe, baby. Because we are the official home for New York City basketball. Peace.